1907 by Mark Canzonetta. My goodness, Mark, it's nice to see you.
Good to see you too, Lauren.
We haven't done a new segment in quite a while.
I know, with everything going on, we wanted to maintain some safety and everything like that.
Absolutely.
But it's time to start coming out of our shells, I think.
Yes, it is. And you guys have done a wonderful job with the restaurant, with some of the dividers and, making sure that the hand sanitizer stations are there. So I do have to say that first and foremost.
The QR codes with the menus, which when you go to bigger cities, they don't even serve menus, so you just scan your phone onto the QR code. For all those that don't know, it's a little weird looking code that used to be on the back of the cans. Replace the look on the back of the cans, and you can get your menu.
It's super easy and very simple, and I am so excited to be able to share this with people on your behalf, because some of the things that you're going to be seeing on the features menu right now are actually going to be on the permanent menu.
Yes. Coming out in a couple of weeks.
For the rest of the year, right?
For the rest of the year through next season, and we'll see how long. They'll probably be there. Once you put something on, it's hard to take something off.
Especially this stuff.
And it's the great thing about having a bistro. You can experiment and try all different kinds of cuisines. And this Italian food to me goes back deep rooted in my family traditions all along our sides of the family. So there's a lot of history, a lot of things we're going to be doing that's associated with history.
Yeah, we're going to be doing some cooking in a few minutes, but I want to go through a couple of the things that are on the menu, and the names that are attached to some of these dishes are really special to you.
Well, it's my Grandma Rosano's meatballs, so they're known as meatballs. So, Grandma Rosano, she had a different take on meatballs. She never spoke, 4'6" of her, never spoke a word of English the whole time she was in the United States.
Really?
Never once.
So as she was making these, you were just hearing her talk to herself in Italian?
She was showing me what went into it, the ground veal, the ground pork, and the ground beef. And then she would take the golden raisins and soak them, sometimes in a little bit of brandy or sometimes just hot water to go in there. And she would grate either the Parmesan or the Romano, and then she would take the bread that had went stale and she ground that into breadcrumbs, or she softened it up with water to make the meatballs out of, and then she would go outside to the chicken coop and get the eggs to bind it all together.
My goodness, has anything changed from her recipe till now?
No, not really. Nothing's changed. I mean, of course, the tomatoes have changed because she would have picked these out of her garden and made the pomodoro, or what she would say sugo, which is sauce. She would make that, and I like serving it with a little bit of arugula. I like the crispness and the bright flavor of the arugula, the pepperiness, and it's got a little bit of a lemon vinaigrette to it, so it cuts through all the richness of the meatballs. And then we put Fontina cheese on it, and I really love Fontina, so it really goes really well with the meatballs and everything like that. So it's sweet, salty, savory, all those kind of flavor profiles. Really works out well, doesn't it?
Oh yes, it works out.
So that's the Rosano part of this.
Okay.
That's the Rosanos, my mom's side of the family.
And then this is Dad's side of the family.
Well, this is my father and now my brother. My father, God bless him, he left us 4 years ago. But my brother has taken on the tradition and he's going way forward with it. And so these are Papa Canzonetta's peppers that my dad championed, as long as I can remember. I'm 54, so Dad would have been making these since I was probably 6 years old. So like 45, 50 years he's been making these.
I'm a little bit familiar with these. And you know that if they're in front of me, I have to eat them.
Right.
Like, that.
And we're serving that with our focaccia, which is just light and airy, and it's got rosemary and Sicilian sea salt, and it has some golden raisins in it as well. So again, you're getting all those flavor combinations. And this goes back to my grandma's on both sides. My great-grandmother's on both sides. So, but the peppers are purely my dad, and now my brother Jeffrey's done a great job of taking those on.
I've eaten a lot of peppers, and I'm not just saying this because I'm friends with you guys. They're the best peppers I've ever had in my life.
Thank you.
And my ex-husband's are really good too, but he even said, darn good. Like, I'm telling you, but since I moved to Youngstown, I do have to admit that. All right, let's move on over here.
So the salad is inspired, my father did a lot of different things before he settled into the insurance business, and he did a lot of them, from cutting hair to working insurance to all kinds of different things, and he would always pass on Route 422, my godfather, my Uncle Pete Cicero's Italian import store, which was on the lower end of 422 going into downtown. So he would stop every day and he would pick up Genoa or Capicola or Mortadella, Stinky Provolone, whatever he would pick up. And at the end of the week on Sunday, because we always had pasta on Sundays, whether it was at my grandfather Fred's or at our house, Dad would go into the ice box, we called it, He would pull out all the scraps,
I'm taking it.
and then he would turn it into a salad with a very, very great, bold red wine vinaigrette.
So a red wine vinaigrette, and then just
Red wine, roasted garlic, extra virgin olive oil. But this could have anything in it. It can change daily. You know, it's whatever's, it's the leftover salad. And you pulled it all together on Sundays. And it's just tradition. We had it almost every Sunday growing up.
So good, so bright.
Yes,
So tasty.
and the lettuce, you know, that hybrid of romaine and iceberg, it's called Cleveland Crisp, and we get that from one of our growers up in Cleveland, and it just has that definite crunchy feeling.
I've heard it's been hard to get this year.
A lot of things have been hard to get. You know, the supply chain's been very difficult during these times. Grocery stores have never been busier,
Right.
you know, and, you know, the supply chain, you know, it's going to break down once in a while during these kind of things.
You know, I love salami. I can't help it. All right, coming up next in the kitchen, we are going to be going through a couple of these recipes that
sure,
are just
exactly.
so vibrant.
You know,
and so
again,
good.
my godfather, we made his sausage, Cicero's sausage, and we're going to incorporate that with some cavatellis. So that really, really works out well.
We will be right back. Don't move a muscle. Well, as promised, we made our way into the Bistro 1907 kitchen.
Pans are all nice and hot and ready.
Oh my goodness.
You want to have a hot pan. You want to have a nice heavy bottom pan when you're sautéing. You want to stay away from those, you know, 15 pans for $29.99 sets
Not a
on
deal.
TV. You don't want anything to do with that. So we're going to start with one of the pasta dishes, and this goes back because this is my godfather, my Uncle Pete Cicero's sausage, fennel, chili flakes, a little bit of sugar, pork, garlic, and you want to put that in a pan. And whenever you're cooking sausage, you want to let that sausage get a little bit of what we call bark or color, because you want the sugars to caramelize. We're going to start with our greens, and that's going to start with our greens, our escarole greens, extra virgin olive oil, of course. And you just want to take the greens and you want to blanch them in boiling salted water. I'm going to add a pinch of salt, pinch of black pepper. I like a little bit of chili flakes in my greens. Okay, and then again, this is going to go on top of the sausage for the sausage and greens.
So easy, so fast.
Yeah, so fast. Well, we only have a couple minutes.
Right,
So
that's true.
we're also going to make roasted garlic broccolini for our chicken roasted Sunday chicken. So we have the garlic broccoli. We have the broccolini already cooked off. We're going to put that in the pan. Again, salt, pepper, roasted garlic. Very, very simple, very easy to execute. And we're going to put that in there, and we're just going to toss this. And you just want to warm this through. And you have all those beautiful cloves of roasted garlic in there. And we'll come back here to our pasta. Our greens. And those are just going to simmer down now and get happy. We're going to go to our pasta now. And that also has the sausage, my godfather's sausage. Again, some extra virgin olive oil. We want to get some color on it. I'm going to add these Roman borlotti beans. They're cranberry beans in America. They are cooked in nothing but vegetable stock and a little bit of celery and onion, and they taste like they're cooked with meat. They're so unbelievable. A little bit of overnight tomatoes. Again, the salt, the pepper, and the chili flakes. And you just want to toss that together.
Wow.
Yeah, very, very, very simple. This is stuff, this is all depression food, Lauren. So this goes back to everybody that didn't have a lot to cook with, they didn't have a lot of ingredients, and they used to go back to depression. I'm going to add those cavatellis, and those are homemade cavatellis from Paul Manilio, and we're going to toss that. And one thing you always want to have when you're cooking pasta, you want to have a little bit of that pasta cooking water because it brings everything together.
That is one of the things that you have
That is one of the biggest steps you
always
always want to have. Now we're going to add a little bit of pecorino, which I like, Locatello Romano. I like the Locatel because it's got a strong flavor. It's made from sheep's milk. And we're just going to toss that. This garlic rapini is done. Just got it nice and happy. And then our greens are done. We're going to come back, we're going to plate, and we're going to show you everything. We're going to also show you my grandma's lasagna and our Sunday roasted chicken.
1907 by Mark Canzonetta is now La Famiglia Canzonetta in certain aspects.
In certain aspects, we're involving some of it in the menu because it's my heritage. You know, it's my family, the Canzonettas. We've been in this country since the late 1800s. The Rosano family on my mom's side, the Cicero family on my dad's side. So this is a little bit of all the culture and heritage that I had growing up on any Sunday. You know,
I just called him a lucky son of a gun.
Well, you know,
He's a
Sundays
lucky
were,
guy.
you know, Grandpa always had people over, you know, and every Sunday you would have everybody over and Grandma would be cooking the pasta and the kids would be running around the backyard and picking cherries off the cherry tree or apples off the apple tree or off the fig tree, depending on what grandparent we were at. And we would all be blessed to have all this amazing immigrant Italian food, you know, that we grew up with. I mean, I didn't know anything else.
This chicken, I've never seen a chicken look like that.
Well, chicken's got a lot of love. So everybody had a Sunday chicken growing up. I think everybody had a Sunday
Yes,
chicken.
we did.
We always did, whether it was, you know, they'd be running around the yard one minute at Grandma's house and then the next minute they'd be on the dinner table, either a chicken or a rabbit, just depend on what we were having that day. So we always had a roasted chicken. This is cherry wood smoked and it's stuffed with this beautiful focaccia, but then we put black mission figs in with it and we
I
make...
just had one.
It's just, and then the salsa verde, you know, the olio santo has, you know, baby peppers and roasted garlic cloves and parsley and basil and garlic and red wine vinegar.
This
Then you have
is
the
to
garlic
die
rapini. You know, we always had cavatelles growing up. These cavatelles are actually made by Paul Manilio of flour, and we buy them through one of our local companies, which is, they're just stupendous. You know, and then you have the lasagna over there. The killer lasagna.
40 layers of
40
this
layers.
lasagna.
You know, sometimes it's 44. I lose track. Sometimes it might be 48. I don't know. I lose track counting sometimes. I go until it feels like it's high enough.
You do realize that the team in front of you begged you to put this on
I
the
know
menu.
they did, and I'm glad they did. My wife as well. Melissa's like, why are you escaping your Italian roots at Bistro?
No more of that.
And
No
so we're not
more
going to
of
do that. You know, we're still going to serve all the great food that we've always had. Oh, chocolate
forgot.
cannoli cones. That's, you know, that's my Amanda Sue. You know, Matt, my pastry. I'm lucky to have two of the best pastry chefs in
Yes,
town,
you are.
Matt and Amanda. And the chocolate cannoli cones, you know, cannolis growing up from Cicero's, always a thing. We wanted to make them whimsical, so like a kid can pick it up and it looks like an ice cream
Well,
cone.
Sabina ate them the last time we
I
were
know
here,
she did.
and she didn't even share them with us. Me and Fred, we didn't get a single bite.
Well, I think we have enough for everybody once we come off camera to eat like Sunday feast.
It is nice to see you back. We encourage everybody to come out here to downtown.
Yes, come to
Youngstown.
downtown. Downtown
It's
is the same
safe
great
and
downtown
wonderful.
we had before.
And we need you. We really do. So, Mark, thank you for being so
Thank my
gifted
grandparents. Thank
and-
my godfather.
Right, and blessed in
You know,
so many
without
ways.
them, this food would not be here.
All right, check out the website, bistro1907.com, and always right here on Valley Spotlight. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Lauren. Cheers.
Yeah.